nice stream for you. Super quick one. Ethereum, inflection points. Our beautiful people, premium. Oh, let's turn this down. Our beautiful people in the premium community have been enjoying. You could be enjoying too. I'm here to tell you, I'll be doing a Camtasia of what went down for Ethereum, but I decided to give you a quick heads up. Ethereum for an all-time high. If you've been following me on Twitter and LinkedIn and all the other usual social devices and you know the rest, you would have been seeing that we are getting kind of hyped and pumped for the Ethereum push. It's a Saturday night, yep, and it's an alt market, and we are going to get the all-time high on Ethereum. So hello to Jerome, hello. Nice to see Rami, nice to see Cameron. Hey, how are you doing? We giving a quick preview. Wow, 115 of you already and 13 likes. A little bit of a real stream on the good old Wacom. So I'll do a full record, but what I'd like to show you, I don't know if the screen will actually show very well. Let me just check this out. This is your Ethereum current progress. Yeah, have I got it right? Have I got you in? Can you hear me well? Yep. Let's show you that move. This move is going to be highly momentous, and we're getting kind of excited in our premium community. Green isn't a good color. I think TG Pink's a great color. See that? Your key inflection point stop is there. You've got a 1:19 risk reward, and you're looking for 1430. Don't say we don't give you things, yeah? So it's a free trade. It's a free trade for you. It's already begun moving, so obviously can be pullbacks. If you wanted to be in from the beginning, you could have been in our premium area. You could have had the heads up before. Did we really say it before? Everybody lies. Did we really say it before? Let's have a look. This is a key element of theory that we are developing. I'll say goodbye to Alana for a moment. We're jamming the music and having a great time and making good money. Let's see if we said it before. How did it look? This is what we were discussing in premium. Waiting for that key sniper event. You see that there? That's the prediction. That little dot right there. That's the prediction on the touch screen for when you will get a super high reward with tight stops. We got a little look one way, go the other way candle. You'll learn all about that and what it means for theory. You too could become a high risk reward trader. Guess what? This is close to 20:1, guys. This is closest to 20:1. You've never seen this view before, have you? See all the cameras, the SLRs and the lighting. I don't have that many screens. No, I don't. And most of them Wacoms to do great teaching. Man, oh man, we're on a Saturday and this thing was setting up and we had a feeling it was coming. And we've been watching it, and we went and bent our credit cards. They weren't on credit, but we went and bent our accounts for a little bit of lockdown retail therapy. And there you go. The market just goes and throws another huge 6-digit number at you already, possibly 7-digit by the time this move is done, and says, you didn't spend enough. Well, you could be doing this too. You could be doing this too. But you need to learn the skill. You need to truly understand that the best trades where you can truly lean on them, those rare moments when you can take a chance and you can squeeze that risk and you can get a highly expansive reward, are the gains. Key inflection points with HVF method, Hunt volatility funnel method. There isn't, in my worldview, with all humility to what everybody else does, there isn't a better way to trade, particularly mega bull markets, which will do regular setups, pullbacks, setups, and re-going to the upside. So if you've decided you'd like to max out your wealth in this wealth polarizing reset sniper time, trust me, the reset is the turbo on both the market sniper and the crypto sniper. This stuff is going down. Bitcoin will do fine, but Ethereum is the best choice for me. Yes, people chase down the ladder. You had a big move out of BSV and all of that. They've been awful for ages, BSV. So it just gets back into the top 10, where it used to be number 5 or 6 for a while, 7. It's not impressive, because you would have had to sit and hold a bag for months on end while Bitcoin ran and so many other tokens ran. It's no point in chasing the Johnny come lately recent spike, guys. The best leverage trading is on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is an Ethereum example. I might do a Camtasia, but they take so long to get out, and it's always long after the fact. Even this is, for us as snipers, this is chasing the market now. But you guys like to know, and you like to know how far it's going. We're calling for a new all-time high shortly, possibly all over this weekend, maybe the Monday or the Tuesday for Ethereum. So it's going to move very, very promptly. And there is a slight possibility for overperformance. But don't forget, when you make a new all-time high, remember what happened with Bitcoin. Pully backy, dumpy pumpy, and then shake out all the over leveraged hands. Support and resistance traders all chasing in. They need a kick in the pants, and so it goes. So it goes. Anthony Welfare, can ETH do a Bitcoin and cover shoot targets? The chat faded a little quick away there. And I'm just holding up my camera to do this quickly. ETH can do a Bitcoin. I mean, at the top of this, this Bitcoin rally to wherever it goes, $150,000, for example, Ethereum could be 20. So yeah, it's definitely the game. It's definitely part of the game, guys. It's definitely part of the game, but you need to get in. And how do you get in a market that's been going largely up on the bigger time frames, almost straight? That you have to know how to break and enter into a trade. Where you can use big leverage, get a good spurt of capital, then reduce and get comfortable and hold and survive bigger pullbacks that will come later on once the setup has played out. That is the key thing. Can ETH overshoot? It could indeed overshoot a little bit, but I think after all-time highs, you're going to have some form of pushback and shake. So I'll certainly be banking a fair amount. I've leaned on it hard, guys. This one's been setting up all day. I've been watching this chart every time I went and took a pee whilst doing some shopping and getting out and keeping a restful eye. And I was already big before going in, and we had time to add more on this. So this is leverage trading. Be careful. It doesn't suit everybody. If you don't know how to recognize a key point of inflection and really manage a risk level super tight, you're going to get washed out and you're going to have Bitcoin taken off you. It's something that requires a degree of skill. It's within all of you, but you've got to be patient and you've got to be prepared to learn and you've got to implement. And this is important. If you don't, you can do damage. So much better to pay your university fees in peanuts. And actually, the membership to our program is relatively peanuts. It's less than a quarter of a Bitcoin. I think it needs to change. It needs to go up 2.5 times. We've got whole new content, whole new platform coming, and we'll do new pricing for that, almost certainly. So it's not out of greed, it's out of value. It's got to match the value proposition. If you can't make serious money employing this method in these times, then my name's not what I say my name is. In truth, it really, really is exploitable. You can book a call, go to themarketsniper.com, get started, and you can smack it. In the meantime, you've got my assertion that on balance of probabilities, ETH will be trading through its all-time high. Let's get the live chart on that. Again, let's check how we're doing. Now, you did just run what we call a second interim. So what does that mean? You actually get a pullback. So for some of you, you may even get an opportunity to buy the dip, currently trading price 12.62, looking 14.30. Some of you will be going, yeah, that's not so huge percentage-wise. It depends when you get in and how tight your stop was, and therefore how big you could get. And also what you're prepared to risk, so what liquidity. And if you have high confidence, you're prepared to risk that little bit more, you have access to leverage, you can lean on these events that it can bring really powerful rewards to you. But that doesn't mean every time you're going to be right, but we are in a macro bull where the bias is upside continuation. And these are opportunities to get in bigger and to take Bitcoin valuation, take Ethereum valuation. Your net worth should be calculated in Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver valuations. ounces. So that's what you do. Forget this fiat business, guys. It's over. The debt markets are starting to have the interest rates go up. People are going to start storming out of that debt market. My God, pensions are going to be destroyed. Everything that was building, I can see that coming in time. They'll pump the interest rates. People with homes in debt on those homes could be shaken out. You need to build cash. You need to be liquid, and the opportunities will be all yours as others face distress. I'm sorry if that sounds Machiavellian, a little bit almost vulture-esque, but the future belongs to those who have prepared for the current times. And these are different times of all forms. So 340 of you watching on your Saturdays, man, you guys, I hope you got out during the course of the day. I thought 10 men and his dog would come on, and a goat maybe, but here we go. There's 340 of you on your Saturday nights coming on to say hello. As Biden prepares 3 trillion stimulus, absolutely, says the man in the comments. There's a massive part of it. I was out buying canned food, says one of the guys. That's Charles Windsor. Any comment on the gold drop? Any comment on the gold drop? Yes, I do. So the interest rates on bonds have gone up. That means holding debt, instead of paying you nothing, now is paying you more. So the cost of holding gold goes in comparison down, because you hold gold because it's not going to lose value. You'll still hold it. It'll still be there, providing it's not stolen from you. It'll still be gold. It won't have rusted. It won't have eroded. So it pays 0. If they start putting 1.5% on bonds, and don't forget these guys are leveraged to the hilts, you start getting a positive yield out of that, then people will go, well, gold, how much do I need to hold something that's paying absolutely nothing? When they were talking of negative rates, it was very good for gold. But that's a short-term anomaly, because what's actually happening is money, and the interest is paid in fiat, is going to start to lose faith, confidence. And then it won't matter what interest rate they pay. If I'm paying you in peanut shells, and I promise to pay you 1 million of them, what's it worth to you? You'd rather take the gold ounces. So there will be an inflection point where that inverse relationship between the gold price and the increasing yield on bonds will turn. So now you have an answer from me on that. Hit the likes, bang the shares. Something different as a video for you. Themarketsniper.com. Book a call now. Boom. If you're not there, you should be. You're probably going to be catching the last 3 months at these levels with us. Quebec, Canada, first day of lockdown curfew today. Lot of places with lockdown curfew, guys. What you going to do that makes you money online? Let me tell you, there's every man and his dog doing drop shipping and all these deadbeat, horrible activities. You could be dropped into a macro bull crypto scenario where you could sit at home, enjoy trading, learning a skill that's awesome, that can never be taken away from you on any market, including traditional markets as well. You could do all that from an internet connection without having to hustle with admin and doing all of these weird make money online scamdemic, they're as bad as the scamdemic type activities. Trading is as old as the hills. It's buy at one price, sell at a higher price. And guess what? We are sitting in the biggest long market, and we can trade the strongest market. And it's coronavirus ball, not around on my table as it normally is for me to bounce and throw. You've got the whole of Jupiter in terms of the quadrillions, and I've said this countless times, that has to squeeze into that. Crypto has to get bigger. The bigger it gets, the longer and the more sustainable it absolutely is, the more impregnable it is to a takedown. In other words, it's been co-opted, guys. The blockchain is going to tell the government everything they goddamn want. Forget the secrecy and this libertarian. But in one hand, that's bad. In the other hand, they've accepted it as the new world money. All the bankers are coming out for it. Is it still okay to invest a little for the long term? Is it okay to invest a little what? For gold? I don't know the question. You've got to put all the details if you want to ask me a question, guys. Sorry, there's so many comments, and I don't know if you leave a detail out, I can't answer it. So I have gold and silver, but my overweight of my liquidity is in the crypto realm because it's the fastest horse. and the fastest horse is good, but I have a stable as well. Grid down, electricity down, our friend Klaus, all of that other good stuff. It's worth having options. What's your thoughts on XRP? I don't trust it. Of course, it's going to pump and dump. It was last time I checked, it was back at 33 cents. Look at it versus Bitcoin, how it's performed this bull market so far. Look at it versus Ethereum, not on the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes or the half hour, when it's just had a strong 10 minutes, a strong 15 minutes, or a strong half hour. Don't look at BSV now, how it's done on the 5 minutes. It looks like it's killing everything. Of course it does. Look at BSV since the last 6 months. Look on a weekly chart. How would you have really walked that desert of perpetual disappearing? It was on the verge of becoming Ethereum classic, only possibly worse. So all of that has been going on, and now you get a mega pump. Well, so did Ethereum mega pump just before it dumped. DOT has pumped, Litecoin has pumped, they've all pumped, but how they're doing relative to Ethereum and Bitcoin. The far more stable is Bitcoin. Francis, I'm so happy to have joined HVF Introduction. Yes, glad to have you. Link, Litecoin, everyone with their favorite project. You're getting it wrong, guys. It's not about your favorite fundamental project. It may well be the best project, and it may be found to be so even if they manage to convince everybody. But right now, the market is respecting the leaders, the giants. That's all. You may well be right, but don't sit and not make money now until eventually the market catches up to your wisdom. Make money where it's being made. And that the charts show you. And this is the key thing about being in a community where there's real guidance of a technical nature. Go where the money's being made, and not just in the last 7 days, not in the 1 day mark, consistently, and then trade within that. And actually, they're more stable, yet they're still going up a shit ton. Bitcoin has very small percentage-based pullbacks. This time will be a little different than the other time. Why? Because we've got the normal curve of adoption. We've had all the pioneers, then the early adopters. We're now getting into the parabola of the bell graph. All the institutions need to get in. MicroStrategy shares are being bought by Morgan Stanley because of their Bitcoin holdings. They must be buying some independent Bitcoin as well. All these guys have got to come in with their printed up trillions. You just said in the comments, 3 trillion coming out of Biden alone for this one relief plan. How many more relief plans until we're on full-blown perpetual UBI? How much did Trump do? Do you know what trillions are in comparison to billions? Guys, this is a once in a lifetime macro bull, and there's a way you can max that out. And we have the torch to show you their way to go down that path. And that's it. And as I say, I'll do a proper screen share. This is all just but it takes so long, Camtasia, to finalize it. I just thought I'd do something different and just pop on and say hi and say, I'm looking forward to chatting more with my community guys who are in and up, and they're in Ethereum. And the game is, they got in early. We were getting in before anybody else at levels that were great for us. And we've been able to build big leverage positions. Thoughts on Tether FUD? I don't overthink that. I don't think anybody truly knows. I know that this whole marketplace is going to go up. Listen, you got to climb in any macro bull market of this scale. You're going to climb a wall of fear and worry. The faster it goes up, the more the fear is going to come around that there's something. You'll have Tether FUD. You'll have all sorts of FUD the whole way. I don't listen too much about the news and the emotions they try to provoke. It's designed to give you the emotional response that does most financial damage to you. Same as the guy saying Bitcoin's a scam, Bitcoin's for assassins to buy AK-47s, all of that. That was all, as you now realize, complete, utter FUD. And that stopped you from investing earlier, maybe, if it did. And the point of the matter is, to go as far as we're going to go, the news flow is perpetually, particularly out of mainstream media, it's going to be like bubble, bubble, oh my God, bubble, oh my God, bubble. How can it be a bubble? Debt is the bubble. Debt is the bubble. Biden's 3 trillion is the bubble. This thing's still just past 700 billion. In total, one stimulus package is 3 trillion. Added to Trump's, added to the one before, added to QE 1, 2, and 3 throughout 2008 and 9, 24% of all dollars in existence were created last year. And that's not the real printer. The real printer's just taken control. But Bitcoin at 700 billion is a bubble. Why aren't they calling Tesla even a bubble? You're talking about something where Elon Musk's personal wealth in Tesla is higher than Bitcoin. And it's the new money system store of wealth. And one guy's personal wealth is bigger than the market cap of Bitcoin. And it's the bubble. Dearie me. Gentlemen, don't be shaken by weak, emotive, fear-invoking bullshit arguments. Seize the opportunity that's being given to you and maximize it, and live like a lord, and have plenty of fiat to throw at your prison wardens to buy yourself privileges in your new Bolshevik cage. Oh dear. Bitcoin Cash, any potential? No. Short answer. And I traded it. And, we had a spell of being a fanboy of it. I traded it. They will all drag on up to varying degrees, but much less spectacularly than Bitcoin and Ethereum to start. It's about the big brands, the big money. The one is the store of wealth in store of wealth times. The other is the platform for all apps with the real huge dev community, the real huge hive mind, as Saylor likes to refer to it, and I think he's correct, the real power or house of network. Even if somebody else started later and jumped a quantum leap, the money's going into the big players. If you're getting a fizzy drink for your rum, it's Coca-Cola. The fact that Aunt Daisy's Cola that sells 1,000 bottles a week is less sugar, tastes slightly better, and has no tartrazine is not going to change that fact. You don't have the access. You've never heard of it. It's all very new. It's a bit risky. Can she deliver the volumes you need? No. Okay. So that's it. Big Macs aren't the best burgers, but they sell the most. Francis, can you look at a chart starting at 40? Well, can you look at chart starting at 1433? BTC past Tesla market cap. How can Musk be wealthier than the market cap? Tesla went up. Tesla as of Friday went well through the 800 marks, by the way. So I think that maths is correct for now. It will indeed change, and I'm sure it'll change again. But yeah, Tesla as of Friday did indeed go up. So let me just get that up instead. I've got private information there. So yeah, that's it. Tesla's gone up. What is the market cap of Bitcoin right now? It will chop and change the whole while. The point of the matter is, even if it's just gone higher, let's say you're correct and Bitcoin's just gone higher, it's at 758 market cap. I got told from a news article that we're on 800. I think Elon, with his options as well as his equity, something close to 800 billion. Anyway, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got my wires crossed. The point is, it's one company that makes a car with an iPad and a battery. This is your whole new money system. What scale do you think it's going to be relative to one corporation? The answer isn't going to change. I've looked at all of them. They all have little shimmies where they shine a little bit. Bitcoin and Ethereum is the game. And I know it doesn't sound very exciting. If you're trading with leverage and you understand inflection points, that's where you want to be. Will you get select trading opportunities? Yes. But if you're trading with big size and you have to get in and get back out, it gets harder the lower you go down significantly. And if you get it wrong and it goes the other way, you get absolutely butchered getting out, which doesn't happen on Bitcoin and not much on Ethereum. So the key thing is, if you're wanting to accumulate Bitcoin at a rapid rate, if you want to have your favorite project and hodl your favorite project through, and then make sure you're in for the big pump days, and you'll sit through desert periods and you'll not think, damn, I should have moved it, and then you move it at just the wrong time, and you move it to another one that is moving, and then it has a pullback and you're a bag holder there, and then the one you were in suddenly spikes. That's what happens to retail guys. You hodl the loss periods and you get bored and you leave just at the worst moment. That's what happens. And you chase one other new investment, and then you say, well, I'll give it some more time, and you sit with it, and you suck up 0% gross, and all the time Bitcoin is steadily going up and Ethereum is going up staircase, a little bit sideways, lags, Bitcoin then surges, and we're picking those surge points and we're jumping on leverage. And you're saying, what if I trade DOT? Well, you're not getting what I'm saying. With method and key inflection points, you don't need to touch any of the others, and you can have outperformance to all of them. Really, you can, through this bull market. And it's showing me that the bulk of the money is going in there, because these are where the big market caps are. 575 of you, that's amazing. I'd certainly appreciate shares. The message of this was all about the Ethereum break, which we tweeted out on Twitter over here. So if you're not following the Crypto Sniper, you should maybe consider it. That was the chart, a little bit of a Saturday break. This is essentially a free view example of what I do in my premium areas. Look, I don't work every Saturday night until whatever the time is now, midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, but I often do. Because if the opportunity is there, I enjoy being in the game, and I enjoy helping other people be in the game. So I teach them the theory practically while it's happening. And they get the call and the key inflection site right there in pink. TG pink, because it's the most important color, remember. Transgenderism is transhumanism. So we're all going to transhumanism. So it's the most important color. That's where it comes. That's where it's going. In our worldview, on balance of probability. So we can occasionally be wrong, but the probabilities are very, very strongly in our favor. I have no idea what Wise Token does. It may be amazing, but I have no idea. For a long-term investor, should we keep averaging into Ethereum to hold for years? I think we talk about the three-part strategy. You'll learn about that in greater detail when we when you come and grab some theory. But essentially, you have an investment pot that's completely unleveraged, which is very stabilizing. I think a regular accumulate on average costing is very smart. And I think getting Bitcoin and Ethereum is the safest thing you can do. Having a big punt with that money on some fabulous coin with a great story, I think is far more dangerous. It's far more acceptable to get a consistent, pretty decent return on an ongoing basis. And in this bull market, pretty decent is pretty spectacular, than holding out for a Ferrari trade on one single coin that happens to turn out to be the next Google. Because for every Google, there's 500,000 boo.coms, pet.coms, and everything else. So just keep accumulating Google. Imagine you were keeping accumulating Google, which isn't going to move at the rate, didn't move in the speed and the rate that crypto will move. Imagine when Google first came out, you just bought $20 a month and accumulated it. Imagine you've done the same for Apple after Jobs released the first nano iPod music thing, and you just kept accumulating it. It's been absolutely huge. So that's very smart. So build slow dough. Slow dough is your friend, and then try add a bit of spice with some quick dough and tax it down. We teach you all about it. Yup, Adder's had a good go, but then go have a look at the Adder Ethereum chart. As I say, we'll do this. Need a Reset Sniper vid? Yep. There's always stories to be told on Reset Sniper. What about high funding costs on ETH? Let me just tell you, the high funding cost is just a cost of doing business. Right now, do I actually care? I've got in this ETH trade, I've got a bunch of ETH on such scale, and it's moved so fast that the cost and the time that I've had it on, I haven't even had it a full day, and it's absolutely killing it. Even if it's 2% for that day. See Bitcoin doing okay. Ethereum, a nice little look back and back up high. In this move alone, just from here to here, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars for me. And the performance to target. And that's because I've been doing this for a while. You know, you should all be 7-digit traders working to become 8-digit traders. Seriously. Within 2 or 3 years in this bull market. It's unique. It's unique. How do I join premium? Go to themarketsniper.com. Get started is the button. Book a call. Let the guys explain it. No salesman, traders just like you. Someone who was in your position, maybe only 2 years, possibly 3.5 years from where you are, and say, was this a good decision for you? What have you done with it? I can't guarantee, hello fellow Safa, I can't guarantee that you'll do as what they do, but actually these market conditions are the best and the easiest. It's never easy, you can still cock things up. But for me, with the experience of bitter seasons, bear markets, etc., this is almost as much as you can get close to easy money. That doesn't mean you'll find it easy. You'll have new things to learn. We don't want to overhype and sizzle and sell the steak. You can blow yourself up if you don't respect, because there will still be pullbacks in a bull market. But another reason why Bitcoin and Ethereum are just so awesome for this. Look at this relative overperformance now from ETH over Bitcoin. Let's just see if we got you in the... It's quite difficult to get this flowing on the screen. Look at that ETH BTC. Now I posted this chart. Let's take the volume off that for now. And I said, my bias is this is a bull and we're going to have an Ethereum run. This is part and parcel of 360-degree analysis right here. Guys, this could be a downside continuation, but my worldview is that that right there is going to break back up because we're on a right shoulder of an inverted head and shoulder on a bigger time frame. That's in our sniper community, that chart, in a nice, easy WhatsApp way to use it. In the trade leaders, everything that's in here, that chart was shared during the course of that morning. I'd have to find it. We've done so much posting today because the opportunity is there. So if we go back to that FBTC, and I'll remind you of where that is, and we put the bigger time frame. Let me grab that one. That's got the draw on it. That's it. No, it's still not the draw I want. I've got so many versions. I'm in the wrong one. Let's go here. There. Forgive me for this. I've lots and lots of draws. So we've got the Ethereum, Bitcoin, inverted head and shoulder, right there. Let's take that line off. Still not finding the one I wanted. There we go. That's the one I wanted. That's our right shoulder. We keep having a little bit of a problem with the 3% value. We were rejected there, back down there. That gave us our right shoulder. We got a big rejection when we hit that funnel there. We came back and now we're working our way back. Next time we break, next stop, 4% of a Bitcoin. Once we break 4%, you'll break for a while. You might revisit 6.6% of a Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin's doing, if you go from 3%, don't forget this was right down at sub 2.5%. Let's just take it from 3%. And Ethereum goes to 6.6, which isn't its final target, but it will probably have a rest and a pullback at that point. Isn't its final target. You will do more than 2 times whatever Bitcoin's done during that period. Okay, not a bad time to have some Ethereum then. Yeah, makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Quinton Clark, well, that's the argument, isn't it, as the price rises? Yep. I'm not sure. So let's see what other chats we got here. Lots of people messaging me on Facebook. Keep putting it away. Shaz, he already talked about gold. Go back and re-listen. Yep, we did cover gold. So 629 of you, all on your Saturday nights. Thanks for popping on. We really appreciate it. The biggest currency for us, if you value live updates on a freebie basis like this, is a share. We truly appreciate it. One tweet out, that's it. I'm not going to nag you. I hate people that do that stuff. I'm a Gen X guy. We hate being sold to. But that shows appreciation, and we appreciate appreciation. And it's a way of giving a bit of gratitude. That's how you can give any gratitude for anything you learn from here. When will you interview Michael Saylor? I wonder if he'd take me. I'm seeing he's taking interviews from loads of people. I should probably ask him, because I think I'd ask questions most of the others don't. I kind of didn't have will this multi-billionaire take us? There's a lot of people that we approach that just like, who are you? So we'll give him a try, maybe we should, because he seems prepared to appear. Visa is moving their ledgers, absolutely. Good point. I missed the name. It was shifting quite quickly. Lots of comments. In general, ETH has outperformed BTC in this bull market, not in the initial beginning. This is the key thing. You see, there's these seasons in a bull market, and you will even have other coins that will have a season over ETH as well. And then we might pick up one or two. But I'm not going to chase spikes on good weeks for one altcoin in the top 10. It never turns out well. I've done this too many times. Yes, possible overperformance, but first a pullback, I would imagine. You'll first have to sit through some choppiness when we make the all-time high, my suspicion. Remember what happened with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, if we go back to this cheeky device chart view, which is very rough cut video, but sometimes it's fun to do something that's quick and impulsive and rough cut. But if you go back to BTC, this was, and I put it on a semi-serious time frame because otherwise it's just vertically out. This was your all-time high. Let's take that line mess off there. Let's get that history on there. Go 2 days. Get the high in there, maybe 3. See, that's what happened on your all-time high. You can see that. Little bit of, now it doesn't look like much now, but for month of November was quite churny, and a lot of people didn't make any money and gave back Bitcoin. Because if you have a look at that box there, it was pretty choppy for a while. So take it off, put it on say a 4-hour, which is still a reasonable time frame, and you can see this is what happened. So you did have quite a hard sell-off there, and then a secondary sell-off there, before you got a beautiful key inflection point there. Sniper site, which was called by us and traded by us. So, decision time. 629 good people. Could you make more? Could you do better? Could you exploit key inflection points? Do you have the means and the intellect? Yes, you do, because you don't have to be supremely intelligent to do this. After all, I'm doing it. But you do need to understand the way. You do need to understand the method. There's this right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. I learned that on, dirt bikes. People stand in a certain way, they hold their elbows out for a certain way, for reasons. All about center of gravity, keeping it low, putting the weight through the pegs. These are just principles. It makes absolute sense when it's explained to you, but you don't want to do it when you start. You seek comfort and you do all the wrong things. Thanks, Jack, a legend. Whee! Sniper, good calls last few months. Gold, silver, BTC, and now ETH. Yep, thank you. It's a bull market. Everyone's a hero in a bull market, in truth, but they don't know how to exploit it to the level and degree. That's where our key aspect is coming in. How do you exploit that? I mean, anyone can say, go long crypto, and I can just rattle off 15 names, and I can be right 15 times in a row, because most of the top 15 are going to go up. That's not wisdom. Wisdom is how do I make money doing that? When is the key moment appearing where I can be super tight and it's going to have a major surge away from my entry so I can be comfortable again and slowly reduce size? And at what point do I reduce size? So that's an entry, a stop, and a takeoff point, or a position reduction point that you can then hodl as a light leverage position all the way through to Bitcoin, Ethereum being 15% again of a Bitcoin, when Bitcoin is 150,000, and by that point in time, you've got, you bought yourself a small town, and you've got a harem of wives, if that's what you want, and a Bugatti Chiron and anything else stupid that you care to buy. I'm being stupid and facetious now. It's actually gratuitous, conspicuous consumption is good to a point, but actually doing things that raise you up and make you feel better and make others feel better is actually really, really valuable. So you'll be doing stuff like that. Good evening, Francis. Hello there, Mr. It says NHUAPUCK. What are your thoughts on being a bull run via technology adoption cycle? That went real fast, that question. I'm not sure I grabbed it. It's a transition of financial system cycle for which technology is part thereof, but it's much more than just technology. Unfortunately, in terms of this is why I keep saying, in some ways, this bull market will shock and even beat the first bull market in places. That doesn't mean I'm saying in all levels at all times it's going to exceed the very first halvening cycle. It's certainly, in my view, going to crush the second halvening cycle climb, and because we're having mass adoption now, and that's the reason why. That normal curve combined with the halvening cycle, we're getting the biggest ramp. This is the biggest ever, in percentage terms, bull market situation you can ever hope to be in. The planets have all lined up. You've got everybody needing to come into a space at the same time as a halvening cycle has reduced supply. And you have your normal supply, your halvening cycle bull run, and now you've got the normal curve hyperbolic phase, which is going mass adoption. ETH will have price discovery. ETH, will it reach 1K back down? I can't tell you how far back down it will come. Technical charts will show me in time how far it will come back down. At the moment, we've got Bitcoin up here, and it's looking fairly firm. Don't forget, if Bitcoin keeps holding its own, doesn't have to do anything spectacular, it just has to keep holding its own in and around here. The others are entitled to run, and largely it's doing that. ETH, oh, it's humpy pumpy all the way. Look at that, 1294. I love that breakout. Look at that. Such a beautiful sight, that. Such a beautiful sight. Yeah, and off quite low volatility as well. This is why we were confident they're likely to be bullish. So understanding when, because you can have a smackdown, it can be a break to the downside. We're never slightly wrong. We're 180 degrees completely directionally wrong when we're wrong. So 1300 coming up, says Mobin. Yes, Mobin Ahmed, members of the community. Nice to see you come on the live stream. I didn't even have time to share the link. I was trying to work out how I could do this on this device and all the logins and really quick, and thought, I'll just do it rough cut. Nice to see all my main men. They'll know that we've been focusing on this during the day. So you work quite a bit of time beforehand, before this comes. I literally threw it out on Twitter just before it broke, 15 minutes tops before it ended up happening, the triggering event, because we deserve, and the premium guys deserve, to make sure they've got all their positions on. Hex Community says hello there, Hex Community. How are you guys doing? Yep. When are you going to sell into stablecoin? I'm not selling into stablecoins at all at the moment. Bitcoin is my sort of base currency, and Ethereum is a partial base currency. So whenever I make fiat profits where I haven't earned Bitcoin profits, I convert the fiat profits into essentially new collateral and BTC, because I'm long-term bull until, as I say, we hit 6 digits plus. Yes, Reset Sniper, Dollar Vigilante, Red Pill Diaries, Orange Pill Podcast, Max and Stacy, Quantum of Conscience or Consequence, I think it was. Someone shouting out some good sources. I like all of those. Good shout. 292 likes. That means 300 of you actually dig this stuff. Good. Cash out into gold and silver. Yes, at some point. And when it gets really hairy, especially if Klaus is getting a bit excited, I do think it's worthwhile having some heavy metal close to hand. And I'm not talking about Iron Maiden. I got a COVID BB loan and paid it all back already. Yes, good. How much are your sessions approximately? How much are the sessions? We talk, I do updates all the time. I can do updates when it's looking good throughout the day. And then when it's not looking good, you can hear from me maybe once or twice in a day in terms of a video share, and then comments and chart shares. So that's the volume in terms of what we do. It varies by day. We don't charge per session. We pay for a year. You need an entire experience, and you need to experience different conditions of markets as well to implement. Look back, ETH is rising freaking fast. Yes, indeed. Yes, hit the like, shouts the Daytonian for 8. Yes, thank you very much. Any thoughts on Cardano? I don't think it's a bad token. I don't think it's a bad token, and it has had, so if we look at the things that have gone up quickly, you know, you've had Lumen go up quickly, you've had all of them, but they weren't predictably easy. And I'm not interested in chasing around. You know, Stella's done 144% in 7 days, but it's done 11% today. Then you've got SV that's done 72% in the last period, most of it today. So, you know, if you aren't in the coin on the right day, you've absolutely battled. Because if you didn't get that 63%, it's been out of out the top 10. It's still not quite in the top 10. DOT had huge 70% months, 7 days, and now it's, you know, it's just ordinary relative to Ethereum. Ethereum's done 66% the last week. You would have done 6% in DOT. How good would you have felt about that? And people chase into DOT so that they can say, yeah, I'm in DOT, because everyone heard that it went up. Worst thing you can do is run into the most recent flyer. Probably the worst thing you can do is run into the most recent flyer. So to go chase into Cardano now, while it's at one of its relative high points at 86%, just wouldn't be smart for me. It simply wouldn't seem smart at all. And it's much better to recognize where you have setups and to trade the setups and get a really tight risk and a powerful reward. And Ethereum, this number is going to go up. And I think the 7-day number is going to go up. And, you know, it's awesome. If you have a look at Cardano versus ETH, the chart is Cardano hasn't broken out of its channel. I'll start believing in it when it starts showing relative strength. Ethereum is showing that it can overperform Bitcoin. It has a pattern structure, and it's moving its way to the critical decision point. We're going to have a key inflection point on that neckline. You may even get a second chance back down to it. And then it could get properly skating, and then it's going to overperform significantly. I'll even flip my investment bias, which has a large portion of Bitcoin, a little bit more during that period. Hey, Francis, been sharing your videos via word of mouth, going to be important in this new age of censorship, working. Thank you. The comment disappeared too quick. Got to work out how to pause it. So in capital markets, platinum and palladium, we trade on Scandinavian Capital Markets. Our brokers in the links of all our video, and they will take a Panama company as well. So that means any profits you make in there will be entirely capital gains tax-free. Is the liquidity crash ahead? Well, I think the most interesting liquidity crunch is what's going on in crypto. There's a shortage of the tokens that are being demanded, and that's why you get moves like this. That's why you get moves like that on Ethereum right now. There's a shortage of coins being demanded, and there's a shortage also of Bitcoin in a similar way. But that just means people having to chase the stack up to get people to sell to them. In essence, these fast-moving breakouts are crypto shortages, because there's a huge amount of money that needs to come into the space, and that means there needs to be quality cryptos. The money, the target is 1433, I think it was. That's on Binance. It varies by exchange slightly, so it won't be exact. I think I've got it on Phoenix, my one. So let's take the eye off. No, that's also not the draw. I was on the other. Sorry, I've got two different templates open. Faffing about a bit here. So you want the target. Target is 1430 on Bitfinex, it seems. $14.30.53. 14.30.53. Do you also handle private money? I don't like managing other people's money. I like managing my own. I have my own risk profile, and I'm quite comfortable and prepared to do what I want to do on my own money, and not inflicted on others. I have looked after friends on occasion, but generally right now I have a full-time job, just with the number of accounts that I have. I spread things for risk reasons. I spread things for varying degrees of leverage reasons. And I have multiple backup options, and I have resources in many platforms. I probably have a whole screen just with blotters, just mainly because I don't like to be all in one. I tend to leave tokens on the exchanges because I'm trading them. So that's why I have an investment pot that doesn't go near any exchange, because I'm wanting to utilize the leverage, and because I'm wanting to trade fairly substantial size. I have different platforms as well, so I can enter a little bit in each exchange and build positions. So that's how I do that. So if I had to then have somebody else's $10 million, it's just going to double all that for me, admin. I could start a fund, but I just hate the idea of involving regulators and having anything to do with any government. So I'd much rather teach people to do it for themselves. And I don't need to be a high profile financial figure who wears a suit and does brochures for people. I much prefer the fact that I'm streaming to you here in my tracksuit pants and my hoodie, because I can be a scruffy millionaire. It's allowed. Nobody cares. The minute you start managing other people's money, you've got, things to do, appearances to keep up. I like freedom. I want to go swim, and if I decide I'm doing that, I want to just wind some of the leverage down on my accounts, not worry about what the market's going to do that day, and go swim. So I value my freedom too much over. When if you get over $10 million, how much more money do you need? If you get a house, you buy a car. Actually, when you're my age, I wouldn't want a Ferrari. I drive the roads I drive on I'd just wince every time I went over a pothole. So what do? You just have freedom and you enjoy yourself, and you help other people. It's quite gratifying. That's it. So co-vesting or copy trading. I've seen these things. Yeah. The problem I had is when I did a bit of copy trading, people put in $1 just so that they could copy, and then went and did it themselves and never paid the fee. So they just want to rip off your signals for nothing. So I don't like being raped by somebody. If copy trading and you've signed on to do a deal, then you must, pay the deal. If it's just you're giving your intellectual property away, and I don't want to be raped by people. That's what happened. Pleasure. Phoenix Hex. Yeah, glad you're enjoying it, mate. If you're more of an investor, what exchange would you use for crypto? Well, if you're just investing, this is Richard Hart talking of the Hex guys in the rooms. He's a very smart guy. In terms of crypto and crypto fundamentals, significantly smarter than me and most people, I would imagine, on the crypto game. And he says Uniswap is all the depth you need. and you don't have to have an exchange. I mean, exchanges are actually government-based bottlenecks now because of KYC. So he was like, why are people using the exchanges? Go to Uniswap and use a decentralized space with great liquidity. Get in and out there. So no, definitely not sell ETH now. It's going to slow down because it's come up to a key level that's 1850, which is a legacy target for us. I'm busy looking at the chart right now on my second screen. So you've actually just made an old HVS target right now. And there's another pause area where you'll take a pause, because you probably have a shooting star and even pull back and you think, he was wrong. Well, we might be wrong. We always run a risk of being wrong. And the journey could be a little bit, convoluted with plenty of pullbacks, and it can still fail. This is an on balance of probabilities game. So that no one signs guarantees for you on anything in this world, especially when you're talking about the future. This is a probability-based game. You've got to understand that. But another level is around about 1354. Once you run that, you'll probably have a pullback. We have a pause area where you normally have pullbacks as well. These are structurally known weak points where you will encounter fatigue in your price behavior. Hey, Gold Coast, Australia. Jason, nice to hear from you. Any reset thoughts on Capitol Hill false flag? Oh, I've stopped following all of that to a degree. I do feel a bit tempted to. Where's all these Q guys and the stick to the plan stuff? It seems to be going rather quietly in a bit of a damn squid. None of them work for you guys. By waiting for somebody to start a war on your behalf, or by waiting for God and praying to God, you're just sitting on your knees for someone to come and chop your head off. If you want something, you've got to go and make it happen. I didn't wait for somebody to help me build wealth. I went and found out how to do it, and I started doing it, and found what I believe to be a very unique methodology and approach for doing exactly that. That is so good and is proven that I can even make a call in advance, and there's a decent chance it happens, and then follow it up. And people can actually see that and say, there's something to this. You've got to find a way to add value in this world and add that value and build your wealth through that process by serving others. Even the billionaires that I love to hate have actually created a product or own a corporate vehicle that actually makes a particular product available. And, if we want to hate Bill Gates, we've all got PCs and running Windows. He's served a lot of people in terms of accessing the computer. Many will say not particularly well, but people that have made insane amounts of money are serving people. Larry Ellison, Java and database and all of these things. It serves a lot of people. A lot of things you do every day online, on your email, opening a statement, etc. You're utilizing services at a micro level that were put in place for you, railway tracks that were built for you by the people that are billionaires. Find a way to add value. You don't have to become a billionaire. XRP thoughts. People will always ask this one, and I've already handled it. Thoughts on XMR. Long run, Monero wins. I'm going to want to put a bunch in Monero. When I decide, look, it's time, I don't look like any form of a whale and I need to have a stash. There's no doubt privacy is one of the key themes of our time. And that sets Monero up to be of great interest. And whatever people say, it holds that number 15, 16, 17 spot. It's usually in, and all the others shoot into number 5, number 6 on the top 10, and then fizzle back down to 25. I mean, whatever happened to crypto.com? Everyone was talking, and Eunice, and all of these other things. Neo, Unisys, SEDLEO, Leo, IOTA, 33. Monero's always just been out the top 10, sitting in number 15, and it still is today. So actually, it's not done badly relative to this. I mean, it's ahead of Tron, which was a big shooting star in the at one point, you know, and all the hype. Tezos, Monero's ahead of Tezos that everyone was talking about. Crypto.com, lots of Neo, all of these tokens were once stars. Still ahead of YFI, which is, you know, up 68% for the week. Dash, it's ahead of Dash. You know, Dash was in the top 10. Ethereum Classic, number 40. So Monero is a future. It's hanging tough there because it serves a real purpose. And when it's properly needed, it could, I think Monero will end up in the top 10 when people realize they need secrecy. I'm not saying Tron is no longer a star. I'm just saying, guess what? It's below Monero. And it was 5th or 6th at one point. So there's lots of tokens that have their little trajectory of their 15 minutes of fame, and they do a little swirl on the catwalk, and then they form part of the stack that's all the running pack. I wouldn't be able to answer if Neo will make a comeback. I'll watch it climb steadily for a sustained period, and if it gets into the top 12, I'll start checking its chart once in a blue moon. And if it ever sets up a structure with a big setup that has me believe that that big setup will break, then I'll trade that big setup. And then I could trade it into coming up in the top 10. But I'm not assuming it is, and it's got a lot to do to impress me. So it's got to get back into just outside the top 10 and be hitting high numbers for a while. FCA have banned leverage in the UK. Yeah, such schmucks. They want to spoil the game. Thankfully not in the UK. What about EOS? EOS was a big shooting star. You know, if you have, at what scale could it be justifiable to join this micro circle community? Well, if you have over a Bitcoin, it's already feasible. I mean, the total all-in cost for a year is less than a quarter of a Bitcoin. And with your early mover discount, if you take that, which is just responding in 3 days. So, you know, you've got an idea where you'll end up there, where the list price is and where that is. As it stands now, which is not beyond review when we launch our next updated platform and the new advanced theory is all done. So the minute you have one Bitcoin, it's worth your while, because that's 3/4 of a Bitcoin you would have left. You can maximize for something that I assess will run for at least a year. And even when Bitcoin stops running and the alts run, you'll be getting value out of it. And not just will you be learning the theory, you'll actually be implementing it along with me. And we'll make mistakes. We won't hit the ball out the park every pitch for sure. But in a bull market like this, it just multiplies the return immensely. You can turn 0.75 Bitcoin, providing you don't lose your head and you're always valuable and careful and you don't trade drunk and when you're a couple of Bitcoin up and blow your account up. You know, people have done crazy things and then it's everybody else's fault. So, you know, it's tough, and bear markets aren't banned forever. So you've got to milk this stage, but it's going to be a bigger, longer one than most realize. You might think, wow, I don't know, you know, bull market's over. No, it's not over. It's not over. It's not even, it's probably the end of the beginning. It's just really getting into the meat now. Yeah, Neo and Nvidia join forces. Yeah, we've been trading Nvidia, the equity. Australian Securities taking away leverage for retail traders. Get professional rating. That means you've got to make some money. You know, you've got to show, I think it is £500,000 in liquid and get professionally rated so that you can get back trading crypto and get out of Australia and get out of the UK. Who the fuck are these people to stop you from doing what you want? You can buy weed and bang hookers, but you can't trade crypto leverage. I mean, you know, who knows what you could catch on the one side, and some of the skunkers do serious damage to people. but you can't trade leverage to crypto. The worst thing you can damage is your financial wealth. Not your, well, some people will kill themselves if they do that, but hopefully you're not in that category. The UK is a police state. I'm afraid, Daniel, it's everywhere. Australia, particularly Victoria State, as my Australian premium members will tell me. We've got a nice Aussie crew. We've got a nice UK crew. We've got from all over. We've got Hong Kong, all parts of Australia, including Western, South Africa, all over the States, Texas, California. In fact, Zishan's one of our insiders, gives great webinars, well loved. He's on the California side. We've got Washington, again, one of our insiders, at the fulcrum of power. I must check that our man Joe wasn't out there with his bull horns on, seizing a speaker's podium from Trump or Capitol Hill. So yeah, great guys. And lots of Danes, lots of Scandinavians, Dutch, where there's good English available, Scotsman, Englishman, Welshman, the Irishman, they're all in there. Mexico sounds good. Yeah, Jeff talks it up. I've been a few times. I don't think they don't do mass at all. The Great Reset, what do you think about that? Well, it's coming and it's happening and you're busy trading it. Thanks for you taking the time with all of us. Pleasure. Do you think when ETH settles down, BTC will follow it? I think BTC is going to hold its own a little bit. So the 40K is a big level, and the next big round level is higher. It's the massive one. So Bitcoin right now having a little bit of a pullback down, and that slowed Ethereum down. So you're going to get a shooting star out of Ethereum. You may even have a little bit of a pullback. That surge break though, high volume, high conviction, these dips, wait till, so for you guys that have come late because you're not in the community and the YouTube started and the break was already underway, you can still get into this. And I'm not telling you you should, but I'm saying you can still get into this. If Bitcoin goes a little bit soft, comes back under the 40K mark, it's quite psychological for it at the moment. This whole congestion around the 40K, it's a bit bloated. It's sort of working off a heavy meal of steak and red wine at the 40K mark. So it'll have a little bit of easing. That will lean a little bit on Ethereum, not entirely, because Ethereum is independently relatively strong to Bitcoin at the moment. However, Bitcoin, they're still correlated assets, and Bitcoin is the god market. So Bitcoin is a little bit bloated and sort of limping off to the loo for a dodgy crap, and takes a bit of a wee dump, then Ethereum is going to come off a bit. You could exploit those lows, but you want to wait until it's selling off. You want to start seeing a hammer, a couple of hammers ideally, but at least one on a short time frame, and then you can put a stop near the low and you can try get in. You might get taken out a few times, so you do micro entries, and then as it seems you're holding and you're not being taken out, and it gives another hammer, and you can do it again, and you can put another stop. You do micro entries, and you can slowly build a bit of size and position in it, and then you leave it on for the big target, and you've sort of broken into the trade. That's what you can do when you're arriving late to a trade such as this. So a little bit of advice. I'm not advisory. It's an opinion from a man who likes to entertain and talks about trading. Non-advisory. 300 more people smash the likes. Yes, indeed. That's awesome. I appreciate it, especially the shares. It's good currency for us, and it's a great way of saying thank you if you're getting anything you value in all of this. Yes, you can lose money on a trade if you have a massive red candle. Absolutely. And if you've got leverage, you can lose more money than you have. So you really need to take your time with this. You probably should invest only. It depends your level that you're coming to us at. You have to take things slow if it's all very new. Leverage is exceedingly dangerous. And even in bull markets, people blow themselves up going long. So you really got to know your platform as well. You need to be familiar with your tools. You don't do a weekend course on brain surgery and then start picking up all these medical instruments on Monday morning and cutting someone's head open. So in the same way. You've got to allow time to develop skills. What are your thoughts on Stellar? Do you think many banks will adopt it? So Stellar is always meant to be, that alternative. It's also kind of meant to be an alternative Ethereum to a degree. So you can go through thoughts on Link, thoughts on Stellar. I'm not going to give you fundamental narrative on them. There's better people to do that. There's better YouTube channels that'll tell you the difference between them, which one's stronger, which one's getting more. I talk about price behavior. So this is a price behavior. How do I make money in this market? That's exclusively my interest, and via utilizing technical analysis and charts. And at the moment, everything from a chart level tells me the best place to be is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and ignore the shooting stars that have their week and then fizzle. So Ukraine Central Bank building on Stellar. You see, you know more about the news than me. That's fascinating. I find it interesting. Why did Tone Vase sell so early? I don't know. Ask Tone Vase. I don't know what Tone Vase is doing. I don't know him personally at all, so he's unlikely to keep me updated. I don't know whether he's a good guy, bad guy. Don't ask me. I don't know if he's sold too early. I don't know if he's sold. I don't know if he's bought. I don't know what he's doing. Occasionally I'll see a tweet of his, and occasionally I'm copied in on a tweet to him. So it seems like another participant in the market. Nothing bad to say about him, but I don't know him well. He's saying we're going down to 1K. Wow. I'd have to say I strongly disagree. Do you think ETH will go under 1K again? Born Cape Town, Somerset West, 3 years in Durban, most of my life in Joburg, for the Safa guy. Do you think ETH will go under 1K? Let me get the ETH chart up again. Well, if you're going to sit and hold for I think we're going to do an all-time high first. So once you've done an all-time high of 1400, you're actually asking for, not quite, but nearly a 40%. If I'm talking 1433 as a target, 30, my apologies, 1430, then, you've got to lose 40% to go back down. It's possible that it sees 1,000 again. Many would think it's highly possible, but it depends what Bitcoin does next. So there's a lot of variables. If Bitcoin keeps marching and starts going for 50 and 60, Ethereum isn't going to go down to $1,000, because it's a real project with real devs, with real hive mind power, and lots of apps building on it. And it's not going to let XLM, Lumen, ADA, all these people that are supposed to be Ethereum killers, EOS, they all sold themselves as Ethereum killers. There's not so many people that sell themselves as Bitcoin killers. Something to do with that 12-year start advantage or 11-year start advantage. Forecast on gold. Can ETH take BTC? I think it can appreciate in BTC terms. In other words, it can become higher value. And given that's a very far into the future possibility that it could have a higher value than BTC. But that's one for a decade, I would say a decade and a half. Take bulk off on your ETH at the take profit. Take the bulk off, because you're probably going to have a dip. I don't cover BNB. I don't really understand it. It's an exchange token. That's all I've got, and you buy it if you want to go more VIP. I mean, they blocked me once I maxed out my limit on Tether and CNC, and someone was telling me, well, buy more Binance in the community coin. So I've got to investigate that. But I've got a lot of hot pots that I'm chasing on hard. So it's actually good to have a few that are not too hyper leveraged. And BNB often dances to its own tune, I've found. It's not very predictable, and it doesn't often give me the structure I like. So I've got out of the habit of looking at it, and it just kind of hovers in that top 10. And I don't think the centralized exchange coins are going to be long-term winners. They're going to have to do a lot more to sustain their existence. That's a fundamental comment. I mean, that's kind of like a loyalty scheme with McDonald's. It's only useful if you're buying a burger at McDonald's and you get a percentage off. That's Binance. And most people are using lots of exchanges. And if each exchange has their own coin, well, they only want the coin of the one they're currently in. So, I mean, I know there might be other things where he stands to add some value on it and all of that, but technically it's not been the most interesting for me, but it tends to hold its place. But it's just harder for a leverage trade because of structure. You bought it at 0.18. Well done. No, you've done well. You've done better than me, but I've just not traded it. If I have a look at it now, BNB, let's see, USD. What's the chart look like? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It looks a bit like a hybrid of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not bad. I should keep an eye on it, but I'm not sure how much it's done this year. I can see it's, is it COVID? Where's it? Get this to a daily. Had an ugly COVID spill. That's when it was $6. Now it's $43. So that's pretty respectable, 7x from the lows. But then again, Bitcoin was 3.9, call it 4, and is at 42. So it was below 4, 3 nines, all the nines. So you've done 10. You've done 10 and a bit. So BNB's lagged Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's more stable and more predictable. So it dies, it fails. Since the COVID collapse, that's a fairly reasonable history period. Binance Coin hasn't done the biz. Looks ETH is breaking out from BTC and no more bubble. I don't care for RSI values, Halil. Don't utilize an RSI, and I don't bother with RSI values. So let me just tell you the danger RSI has to you in this period. RSIs are going to be showing you overbought the whole way through, largely. They might come marginally out of overbought and then go back in again. You're largely, on any decent time frame, I'm not talking 5 minutes, on any decent time frame, you're going to bump along the ceiling the whole way, and the price charts are going to be going higher and higher. That's what happens with mathematical measures on price behavior, and its use in interpretation is worthless to me. That's going to upset you. Maybe you might have an emotional reaction to that comment. In fact, all of traditional technical analysts would probably have an emotional reaction to it, and I'm aware there's a lot that I say that does that, but it's not designed to provoke somebody or piss them off or tell them they're living a lie. It's just to say, I don't tolerate things that don't add value, and it doesn't add value. This is a macro bull market. This is why I don't trade with things like that don't take the context of the market into account. And our method does. And it won't be saying, oh, again, you're overbought. We should be selling. We should be getting out, And then you're chasing back in $10,000 higher up on Bitcoin. So it truly isn't a worthwhile tool. What it does is it serves as a placebo pill for giving you the confidence to do something you already decided to do for some other reason. What do you think about DXY at critical support? Well, the problem is the rate increases on the bonds. This is the question around gold. Gold went down because bonds are going to start paying more interest, and gold pays none. When bonds are paying none, I'd rather hold the gold because it's going to hold its value more than the dollar. But if you start getting a positive yield again, it won't be positive in real terms. They lie about the inflation rate. So what were we talking about again? I'm losing my chain of action. So will dollar. So if the dollar starts paying higher amounts of interest on its debt, more people will move their debts out of euros into dollars. That means the euro will come off a little bit and the dollar could go up. So that could start to put a bit of a floor under the dollar weakness. Don't forget, this mega bull has occurred all throughout a period where dollar has been slipping. Yeah, wait till Bezos is accepting ETH. He might want his own token. So throw all the coins at me by name. I haven't got anything new to say. I'm in the best two, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And yes, I've looked at Link Ethereum. I've looked at ADA Ethereum. I've looked at all the top 10 against Ethereum and Bitcoin. And consistency with lower volatility, those two are your best leveraged trading tokens that will give you regular key inflection points. I mean, I'm on average 4 or 5 times the size. I mean, just for that one small account, it's dropped another 2 Bitcoin onto my P&L. That's just what it's done from the break. That's one of many accounts that is not the most leveraged. How do you make 80, what's Bitcoin, 42? How do you make 88, 85 grand that fast on one account? And you do that on a number of places. I mean, this is 6-digit haven. Why do I need to chase Polkadot, Link, and anything else? I'm getting the structure, the tight risk, and the expansive reward out of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can shout every coin in the top 100 at me. My answer is going to stay the same. I don't need them. I don't need them. When they are great and they're awesome and they prove they're overperforming, they'll come into the top 10. And then they'll prove to me that they're worth watching and looking at a chart by staying in the top 10 for a sustained period, not like an EOS had a summer, bought their own stock up to keep themselves there, kind of had a pump period even when Bitcoin was weak. I want to see them show that they're there for a long time. The only token that has stayed lengthy in the top 10 for an extended period of that one that I can respect is Ethereum. Ripple I don't, because it's actually got such a massive pre-mine and is continually releasing. It's got a fake market cap in essence because they're sitting on such a large percent of it. And then you have the Bitcoin fork coins. Everything else is flash in the pan stuff that's coming. You go have a look at the top 10 in 2012 and tell me where the other coins apart from Bitcoin are. Go have a look at a picture of that image. I can't even name them. You know, Unicoin and all sorts of things that you've never heard of. Where are they today? Most of them don't exist, or they're at 397. So the stayers with real investment are Bitcoin and Ethereum, with real charts and real structure and real leverage that you can get. Every now and then you get a beautiful structure on one of the top 10 coins, and I'll take it. But it's 20%, 15% of what I do. 65 is trading Bitcoin, and the other 15 to 20, we're just doing one now, trading Ethereum long. And as I say, across all accounts, it's probably $400,000 you can be up without having to have extreme. I'm going to go to bed and I'll sleep well. You know, I've not got 5 revolvers to my head here, but you can do it too. You can do it too. But you need time to accumulate that sort of size across a number of platforms, and you need confidence, and you need execution, and you need conviction. You don't just buy something, learn it, read it, and then truly believe in it. You have to watch it a couple of times and not stick to it, and then go, damn, why didn't I stick to it? And then you need to have that same lesson a 3rd time, a 5th time, a 9th time. That's why it's a year. That's not why. I used to do a weekend course. That's it. Tell you everything you know. Well, A, the contents got much bigger, and B, there was no practical experience. People weren't successful. And I actually was cared that they were successful. So then it became 3 months, 6 months, now it's a year. You should have a bull and a bear market in that. I don't know if you're going to get a bear market in crypto. The bear was this bottoming, but you'll see it in the traditional markets because you need to experience it. You need to inhale and breathe and become the approach. And that takes a lot of rinse, repeat, and a lot of lessons. So it's not overnight that you just can pick up a strategy and execute. When it gets real and the numbers are big, you start to wonder and you say, oh, maybe I just do this instead. Big mistake. Yeah, if you can arbitrage trading. I mean, I'm in touch with guys in SA that have an excellent platform for ARB, and they have a South African ARB. So South Africa has foreign exchange controls and Bitcoin sells for more in South Africa. Simple as that. Because of those foreign exchange controls, these guys are getting good percentages. They can get anywhere between 1% and 4% a turn, and they can turn your money over a couple of times. But the problem is they're limited. Once they've moved you've got a 1 million free allowance, I think, and you can go up to 10. It might go up to 20 now. I don't know if you get special permission. That R1,000,000 has to go offshore into dollars, buy Bitcoin, come back around and ARB. That's a guaranteed ARB. They actually offered me commissions to make it available to South African viewers on this YouTube. I've not decided whether I should do that. I'm very touchy about they're very good guys, by the way. It's nothing about them. I'm just kind of cautious about affiliations. I don't want to be a guy who just shills everybody. If I'm not using it myself, I won't. I'm not based in SA. I was born there. So all the things, Scandinavian Capital Markets, I have it. I trade platinum, palladium, gold, silver. I have the account. And I trade it and I enjoy using C-Trader. I don't use Metafor. There's very little I shill for. Bullion Vault, I have a link. You can use it. I appreciate it. Lots of you are, by the way, and good on you. You get a reward for using the link better than if you went direct. And I get a small reward. But it's like, it's just a nice nod. But it's nice to have $20 and I buy a fraction of an ounce of silver because one of you guys did and you're buying monthly. So thank you for that. And many of you are doing that. And I think it's very wise. And you can get it delivered. I store with Bullion Vault. I have an account. I don't ask anybody to do something that I'm not prepared to do myself. Simple point of integrity. If you lose your integrity, you have nothing. I've seen guys in this crypto space that became pump and dump merchants. They get caught out. They get shamed. They got to go away. They can never come again. Why? Because you took short-term money over long-term reputation. Long-term reputation earns more in money than anything else. People start to come to know who you are. I'm not interested in being a crook and looking over my shoulder and having bad energy with anybody. That doesn't mean everyone's always loved us. We had a WhatsApp group once and we shorted Bitcoin and a lot of guys got very upset because they were hodlers. And we were also still developing our product. We've improved it immensely. So, we aren't perfect, but choose integrity, given the choice. You can use Exodus. I probably could get an affiliate link if I cared enough, but I use an Exodus wallet. I also have the Ledger, the Nano S Ledger things. I don't know how to use them because I'm using most of my coins to trade. What about Charmos SPAC deal? iPod IPOE. Do you think betting on good people to keep winning in disruptive tech will continue to play out over the next 5 to 10 years? Yes, I think so. But I mean, if you want to know about good tech to play out, biotech's the space and longevity. The people are editing our DNA sequences. You're getting your DNA sequenced and they're telling you what you're going to die of. And then you start editing and engineering your DNA so that you don't die of that. There's people who are going to live for 140, 50 years, 150 years plus. And then there's people that are going to die sooner. The vaccine guys. Vaccines cap your lifespan, definitely. The heavy metals, they build up in your body. They're almost impossible to eliminate. There's lots of things you have to do. You have to eat clay and all sorts of things. There's these products that are effectively like clay to eliminate, that they can bind on, to eliminate heavy metals, mercury in your teeth. This is all poison, and it makes you age, it makes you go down. So you have to live a life of elimination of heavy metals, and vaccines are heavy metals, and they reduce lifespan, definitely, and they reduce power of your immune system, generally. They're not positive things at all. Don't know how we got onto that. Anybody can learn to trade if they have the desire. Leo, I think it was Leo, sorry I missed your name. Go to the link, book a call on Get Started. Chat to awesome guys. Horim, Devolt, they're all awesome traders. Good guys, and they didn't come to us as professional salesmen wanting a job. They're members of our community that said, yeah, I got spare time, I'll take some calls for a bit of commission. And that's it. I tell you about their experience, and I know them personally. I know their ups and downs, and they're trading. I know how long they've been doing it, and they're solid as hell. And they're glad they're doing what they're doing. They're glad to be where they want to be, as are many others. What about vaccines for the polio? There's a whole backstory to vaccines. The whole notion that vaccines cured polio is actually, it comes under scrutiny, doesn't hold up nearly as well. Polio was self-eliminating, but I don't want to get into a whole health reset sniper thing. In fact, I want to go to bed now. My eyes are getting a bit tired staring at screens. Would you sell Bitcoin into ETH in the short term for us guys under 30K? If we trigger the inverted head and shoulder, I would see that as a very positive kicking off of the event. And you put my blue light goggles on. Get yourself some blue light goggles, by the way. Spare your eyes a bit. They aren't the trendiest. My missus tells me it makes me look about 40 years older, but they protect your eyes. So if that triggers, the FBTC neckline triggers, then we're going to probably make a high rate of Ethereum appreciation relative to Bitcoin. That would imply that having a higher weighting in Ethereum will see you build wealth faster than your weighting in Bitcoin. As a result, the decision to weight up in Ethereum will be a rewarding one. So there's your answer on that one. Watch that 4% mark. Josh, pleasure. Yes, I try to be a good man, but I'm a very naughty boy as well. Elrond, check chart, please. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard a bit about it, Elrond. And is it Elrand or Elrond? Started to show up on the radar. Yeah, nice chilled Saturday night, says Rafa. Why you start giving advices in areas you don't have expertise, like vaccine? I'm not giving advice on vaccines. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I do know enough, though, to know that they undermine immune systems, and mercury and aluminium are not good matters or minerals to have injected. Mercury is poison. People put on masks if mercury spills in a lab and come and have it evacuated. So how's that good under your skin? I'm sorry, anything that contains that is not good. Emotional pain is hard, and it happens. You've got to take a lesson and do a post-mortem. We talk a lot in the community on debriefs, on winners and definitely on the losers, more on the losers. Where did we get this wrong? And we try to be as honest as we can, What was the sign that we missed that could have been signed? In short, we believe the markets give you all the information you need. It's just us that fails to read it properly. That's why we get the insights we do and we go much deeper. There's some technical analysts that say, well, technical, they sell themselves as technical analysts. They've got huge amounts of followers and they say, you can only go so far with technical analysis. That's bullshit. That's defeatist bullshit. Most of the information you need is there. It's just whether you have the skill sets to extract it. It's like going to a crime scene and saying, well, it's difficult to see what went on here before you even got on your hands and knees and looked for the shell round of the bullet that killed the victim. If you're not going to get on your hands and knees and have a proper look, you're not a serious crime scene investigator. If you aren't going to do DNA tests, you aren't going to find out that the victim was raped as well as shot, you're going to miss out on important information and DNA of your potential PER. Imagine, so there's some very, what I call top line technical analysts. We really love price behavior. If you want to know what I am a probability-based price behavior futurist. I'm obsessed about what comes next, and I will look for the clues in what's already happened as to what happens next. So I have learned the natural footprint and DNA of price behavior, of how it typically behaves. If you don't have that degree or level of interest of getting into the atoms, the real DNA at an atomic level of price behavior, how the hell are you going to get an insight more than the top line guy? You want to be best, you want to be smarter, you want to be earlier, you want to be able to show the break before it happens, on balance of probability. Everything I say is on balance of probability. You've got to truly love what you do, and you've got to get on your hands and knees and search that fucking crime scene and find that cigarette butt with a lipstick on it and that bullet round, and do a proper autopsy to find everything that happened to the victim. And that's what I do. I'm the forensic detective of price behavior, so that I can be the best goddamn futurist of price behavior that's out there. And I don't take that lightly. I do it because I get immense satisfaction, and would do it for nothing, all for myself, whether there was no one following me. That's called passion. That's somebody who does it because they love it. And there's too many frauds. There's too many frauds peddling RSIs and MACDs and selling indicators and selling rubber shovels for people to pan for gold. The tools are unfit for purpose. I am a gold panner. I know what gold panners need. They don't need a rubber spade that bends in hard ground. I tell them what they need, and I tell them how hard they got to dig, and I tell them how close they got to look at that pan and how they got to sift it, because it's interesting to me. It's fascinating to me. In fact, the whole of geopolitics can be followed in the sand of money movements, and charts are the visual manifestation of money movements. History is all about power and money. Who controls the money? And I am the bloodhound of money flows. You give me a chart and I will see things nobody else fucking sees, because it's highly interesting to me and I like to know what's going on. That's called a truth seeker. That's called someone who's fucking passionate about getting to the real, no bullshit facts. Follow the fucking money. That is who I am. And I'm telling you this empirically. I get shudders when I say this, because nobody else talks like this, and no one is that passionate about wanting to understand the great game. Because I hate being an idiot at the fucking poker table. I want the fucking facts. And let me tell you, if I get that DNA print on a chart, I see things nobody else sees, because I spend more time fucking these eyes up looking at screens than anybody else, because I love doing it. Whether I charge people to do it, I do it for myself on my own. I just happen to have aligned my interests so that it can help other people too, and that I can have a secondary income from that, because it makes sense and it's good practical business sense. I would still be doing exactly what I'm doing if there was no other people on the planet, but there was still a market. That's it. So if you want to invest with these RSI guys and these folk, and the guys that say technical analysis can only take you so far, I'm not your guy. I'm absolutely not your guy. If you want to invest with a guy that's to the point of psychopathic, believes that everything you need to know is in that data, and will find it, and will see it, and will understand all the different variations that things can do, and that set of things that things can do are actually finite, they're not infinite, and that things move in patterns because they're made up of people that have pattern-based behavior patterns, then you're starting to understand what is my world. And right now, I don't know anyone in the world that's on Twitter, on YouTube, or anybody else, and I say this with all intent of humility, that will read a chart like I do. And that sounds totally arrogant, and it sounds like the guy calling himself the best and beating his chest. I mean that with true humility. I'm so shit at so many other things. But I am super focused in the one thing that I do, and no one else can touch me in that space. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm under-recognized for that fact, but I don't mind. I don't mind because I don't seek publicity and fame. I'm quite happy being silently, violently wealthy and have a small community of people that truly understand and truly appreciate. That's good with me. So that's my little chest beating rant. 694 of you on. I hope you enjoyed that. Yep, we heavy ETH. I need to go get some sleep now. I'm going to go sleep on my trade. It's a good trade. I'm happy with it. Can it fail? Sure as hell can. Will it fail? We don't know. On balance of probabilities, I think I'm well set. But Bitcoin is the God market, and we need Bitcoin to dance. If Bitcoin got horribly nervous, even though that is not Ethereum, and did something ugly, it will drag the whole tent down. And everything I've said here about Ethereum being good to go for 1430 would get postponed, and even stops run, and you'd have to get out and you'd eat losses. And all of that can still happen. It's just not feeling like the probability for me at the moment. I think we're in a good place. But we have just run a key level, which was a legacy target, which was at 1300. The key round number of 1300 was run on a wick by Ethereum. So if you want to have a look at a chart one more time, because this is where the action is, you will see there 1300, 1303. That is the key level. Of course it is. It's 1300. Every $100 is going to be key for Ethereum. I put a mate in this Ethereum at $220 this year. In fact, it's not this year, it's 2020. It's 1300 now. It's a round number. And 1400 will be a round number. But once it's respected 1400, it'll have a small overshoot to the 30s, and then it'll probably pull back with all-time highs. Yeah. Good guys. Yes, to 1400 mega, that's our thing. Let me just, there's alerts popping. Okay guys, James likes vaccines, they've saved mankind. Read a bit more on that, James. Read a bit more on the polio, the killing of polio, but not in mainstream media. Try some alternative. And remember, people don't go write completely contradictory stories just for the sake of it, and keep an open mind. But anyway, this is not the vaccine channel. If I brought it up, I apologize. Maybe I'm wrong on that, you know, it's not my field. Go ahead, but do some more reading. Yeah, so I'm calling time. We're on 666 people. That's the good number to end on. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Keep it real. Watch Ethereum, see how we do. And as I mentioned to you, 1430 is the number to be run on the upside. Okay, bye for now.